Hello, listeners. Been wondering how you can help the show? Probably not. But here are 5 things you can do. 1. Subscribe. Support the show by clicking the subscription link in the show notes. 2. Review on iTunes, on our website, www.afraidofnothingpodcast.com, or on whatever app you listen to. 3. Donate. When you go to our website, click the cute coffee cup icon. Or in the show notes, click the subscription link. 4. Share. Sharing really is caring. Tell your friends and even your enemies to check out the show. 5. Watch. Wait a minute, it's a podcast, not a movie. Actually, it's both. Check the show notes to find out where to watch the documentary. You can also rent it on Prime Video. That's it. Oh, one last thing. Enjoy this episode.
Hi, I'm Marion Luoma. I am the manager of the S.K. Pierce Mansion since 2011. The previous owners hired me and made a mistake. Sorry. Well, Brad was up on the 3rd floor. He picked up on quite a few things. In room 8, he picked up on sadness. I mean, he was really shaking and he was making me sad as I was off camera, behind camera. In the billiards room, I could hear him through the wall as I was behind camera, talking about maybe somebody getting stabbed or something and seeing blood. Somebody gave birth in that room, and that would be a lot of blood. On the 2nd floor, he was doing an interview in the nanny's room, and I was out in the hallway with Mimi. And as he was in there doing the interview, he said, "They're running away from me, they're running away from me." As he said that, I saw almost like a tube come out of the wall from him into the hallway, out of the wall, and went into the bathroom. And Mimi saw it out of the corner of her eye. That was amazing because it was like running from him.
In a world where nothing is known, nothing is certain, reality is not real. Wake up! Be afraid of nothing. I'm Bob Heskey.
Robert.
The host with the ghost.
This is my podcast, based on my paranormal documentary, Afraid of Nothing. Each episode, we talk to people who see life and the afterlife through a different lens. Join me.
Who is this large man? And what's he doing in our bedroom?
As we lift the veil and open our minds to see beyond our eyes lie. This is Afraid of Nothing.
Okay, I'm here with Marion Luoma from the S.K. Pierce House. So Marion, before we talk about the S.K. Pierce House, I want to talk about another famous house that you were at, the Conjuring House. So you had a group that went out there. Can you tell us kind of where the real one is and about your little excursion out there recently?
I've gone twice.
Okay.
I went with Mimi and Ken. For the first time, we went and had lunch and met everybody and, had a tour. That was amazing. Then I went with some friends of ours that we did an investigation. It's located in Harrisville, Rhode Island.
Okay.
It's right over the border of Douglas. Not that far. And let me tell you, it was fun. It was fun. We had a good time. I was chased up the stairs.
Really?
I was chased up the stairs. We came out of the kitchen and we went around to go up the stairs. And the stairs are pretty steep because it's an old farmhouse. And I heard somebody coming behind me. And I have 6 people in front of me. I'm like, move it! And I'm pushing my sister's butt. And she's pushing Kelsey's, and Kelsey's pushing Katrina. And we're like, move it! And we get to the top, and I turn around, and there's nothing there.
Oh.
Freaked me out.
Now, the first time you went, was that just kind of a tour during the day?
It was just to go see Corey and Bill.
Yeah.
Corey's the owner.
Okay.
And Bill, they're just friends of mine, and we just wanted to go see it, and we brought lunch, and we all had lunch together, and, and then he gave us a tour, and we got to do a little mini investigation by ourselves.
Did anything happen the first time you were there, or?
It did. After we were done eating, I was sitting in it's like, oh my God, there's so many rooms to the house. I was sitting
It
in
doesn't
this...
seem that big. Is it?
It's big. It's big. When you walk in, you're walking into where they sleep, Corey and Bill, or whoever's taking care of the house that weekend.
Yeah.
And then the next room is called the safe room, where the Roger Perrin would have his kids and everybody go to be safe when they were scared. And then you walk through another doorway. You're in like a dining room area with a huge fireplace. And then you go to another area, and that's where there used to be a living room. That's actually where they had the table seance with the Warrens, and Mrs. Perrin was picked up there, and Bob, she was thrown probably from here to that wall away.
Oh my God.
The outside, over by the staircase.
Yeah. So, for people knowing, that's like about 15, 20 feet away.
Yeah, the whole chair and all lifted up and thrown into the fireplace.
Wow.
So, but as we were sitting in that room, after we had finished eating, myself and Corey, all of a sudden a woman right behind me, I'm sitting on the couch, like right behind me, starts going like, ah. And I was like, what the heck was that? And Corey goes, please tell me you heard that. I heard it. It was like a woman talking like right in my ear.
So for people who aren't familiar with The Conjuring, what is the backstory about that place? Do you know? Or
Truly, I don't know a lot about it. Only what I've been told through one of the daughters.
Yeah.
It was that one who went to, what is her name? Andrea
Perrin.
Perrin. Yep. I went to something that she lectured at up in New Hampshire, and she was telling us stories about it. And it's an old farmhouse. It was way back in the days. I'm going to say like the Revolutionary War, whatever. Back in the early 1800s, it was built. It was over 200 acres of land, and eventually it like all sold off to, there's not that much there now.
Was it on like Indian land or something?
Yes.
Okay. So
classic.
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 Yep.
Indian. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you ever get to go.
Which you said you'd take me.
I will take you.
Okay,
I will take you. I'm looking forward to it.
Right, good,
going again.
I'm not a screamer, but I'm a runner. Okay.
I ran pretty darn fast. I'm pushing my sister's butt up those stairs.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
How long? So the second time you went for an investigation.
Yep.
And was that 4 hours, 6 hours?
Oh my God! You know what? They're really good. We got there at 6 p.m. and you get the house until 8 a.m. if you want to spend the night.
Really?
I'm not spending the night. None of them spent the night. We just stayed. I think my sister and I left around 11.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We're outside saging ourselves and holy watering ourselves in my car and.
So did you do cleansing before you went in and afterwards?
I did not do cleansing before I went in, but I did it when I came out.
Okay, all right. And there was a picture on Facebook. One of the people in your group, did they have like a mark or something? Or
oh my God, she said she got scratched. We were up.
Was your sister?
No, it was Katrina.
Okay.
Part of their group. And we're just upstairs in the master bedroom.
Yeah.
But used to be the master bedroom. We were all sitting in there, whatever, it's in pitch black. And all of a sudden we looked at her, somebody had a light, I think it was their phone, and her leg was bleeding. And she had scratch marks down her leg, and she said she didn't feel it or anything.
Oh my God.
It's like, okay.
Did she have shorts on, or was it what time?
She had capris on, like up to her knees.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, but she didn't feel, but after that, she didn't feel good. Like, I'm going to say half hour, 45 minutes later.
Yeah.
She didn't feel good. Weird house.
But you're interested in going back. It's not one of those houses like, I interviewed Colleen Costello, and she'll never go back on the USS Salem again,
Mm-hmm.
It's not one of those where you're afraid to go back, but you just found it kind of, you definitely picked up the...
And if you go, you're going to find interest. It's weird. It's a weird setup. Everything is like, there's like 6 different rooms on the first floor, and when you go up one staircase to the upstairs, you go through the other bedrooms to get... There's not a hallway. You're walking through bedrooms to get to the other end of the house.
Wow. Now, how does it kind of rate? I know this house has a rich history. What's the feeling of this house versus that house? Was that house creepier because you weren't familiar with it?
I think it was creepier because I wasn't familiar. But you know what? I was creepy in this house too. So
yeah.
I didn't come out in this house by myself till about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So
and here we are.
And here we are.
Yeah. Hopefully they accept me. I've been here like 3 or 4 times.
They know who you are.
That's good.
They know who you are.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
That would be awesome. That would be great.
Would you like to hear your name?
By the way, the documentary Afraid of Nothing, it's picked up by Vidi Space, which is Nick Roth.
Nick Roth. He was he was here a year ago today. He was here.
Yeah. So Elizabeth Saint. And another guy, something Harrington or whatever.
Okay.
Josh Harrington, something like that. So they have a film festival they're doing now, and they're going to release it, for me, which is great. And I get to release it myself. Yeah, yeah. So hopefully.
Well, look how well we did last year up in Boston. That was fun.
Yeah. And it won an award. Did I tell you it won an award?
No, it did.
Okay. Yeah, I did a short film festival run, and so we got into a couple of festivals. They're actually pretty good. One was called, oh my God, I'm totally forgetting what it's called. It's a festival. Oh, it's eluding me, but they won Best Experimental Film at it.
Really? Good for you.
Yes, in Massachusetts.
Congratulations.
Well, good for us, right? It's all
Oh,
of us.
all right, good for us.
That did it, so it was great. Yeah, it's amazing. So, okay, so let's pivot now to the S.K. Pierce house. And let's talk about, was it the Girl Scouts that brought you here the first time? Or
That's funny. Actually, no, it was May 1st, 2011. I used to live in Hudson. I used to drive by to work. We own the Westminster Garage.
Yeah.
And we were actually doing some construction up there, and I was digging up all the bulbs, in the ground.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to bring them from 100-year-old place to another one.
Oh, that's nice.
And I knocked on the door, and Edwin answered, and I said, blah, blah, my name, and he's like, oh, she's in the bath. I'll have her call you. Next thing I know, she's up where our business, and we talked for like 3 hours.
Wow.
And that's how we met.
And was this early? Were had they just bought it at that point? Or?
That was 2011. They bought it in 2008.
Okay. Did
Yeah.
they live in it right away from the beginning?
I think they bought it in, I want to say December, right before Christmas they signed on it.
Okay.
And they didn't move in until like January, February.
All right. And you wanted, for our listeners, what are their names? Because there's a book written about them too, right?
Bones in the basement. Yeah, I have a copy in the other room.
Okay.
Their name is Edwin Gonzalez and Lillian Otero.
Okay. And they both had experiences here, correct?
They did.
Because sometimes I've been to Victorian places where the male spirits kind of pick on the females, humans, more than the males, just because it's almost like they put you in your place type. Did you ever experience any of that here, you felt, or are you comfortable?
I felt it from all of them,
Yeah.
I've heard things that I just can't explain, seen things I can't explain,
Yeah.
female and male.
Yeah.
You know?
I was at the Paracon. You ever go to the Paracon, the Mass Paracons? They have a Mass Paracon every year. Sam Baltrusis kind of runs it.
Yeah. I'm going this year, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to go. I went this year earlier in the fall, and Ventforth Manor or whatever.
Oh, out in Lee?
Yes. It was J.P. Morgan's sister bought it. And on the second floor, I want to have her on the show. There's this woman who's a ghost photographer. And she was saying, come down here, look at this. I'm like, I don't see anything in there, And she's like, can't you see it? He's looking at me right now, this guy or whatever, And then literally freaked her out. It made her leave. She had to go. It's kind of like, I didn't sign up for this. She had to leave because she was being tormented or whatever by some male in the room. And they have this medium kind of check the house first before you go in. And she was saying the same thing. There was that on that floor in that room in the corner, and nothing. Totally, I was tunnel vision, standing there, not feeling anything, nothing. I was trying to do EVPs, with the box, but nothing with it. So So again, it's I think it depends on who you are, and things hit you differently.
Yep. It's coming. Don't worry. It'll happen.
I told you before, I've had an experience where I felt an entity leave me, but I haven't seen a ghost yet.
Maybe here.
Yeah, maybe that'd be nice. Hopefully, a nice one. So let's talk about you. So the first year or so, they experience things right away?
They did experience things like when they bought it.
Yeah.
She was putting Christmas stuff up in the library over there. The ladies' parlor. And they came back the next day and Christmas balls were off the mantle and on the floor. Now they're glass.
Yeah.
How did it get, 4 feet and it not burst?
Yeah.
Then they just started, she was here working one time and she heard somebody running down this main staircase and literally the door slammed.
Wow.
There was nobody here. She was by herself.
Oh my God.
That's when it first started happening, the first month or two.
Yeah. And how many years did they live here before it really escalated?
Oh my goodness. Probably a year.
A year?
Year and a half maybe, yeah.
Because you said 2008 they bought it?
They bought it in 2008, yep. And maybe they signed in 2007, I'm sorry, and they moved in 2008, yeah. And then they were here a year and a half, 2 years before they handed me the key and left.
Now, tell us, if you don't mind, some of the experiences that they had, culminating with the real freak-out one at the end that you witnessed, that we've seen reenacted on TV a couple times.
Gosh, there's so many. Their dogs have had experiences. They were in this room right here, which is the dining room, and they had it their living room, and watching TV and in the pantry here. Dishes would be crashing to the ground. And they'd run in there, and as you know, they're glass doors.
Yeah.
There's no dishes on the ground. It was just it's all the time happening to them.
Oh my God! So just sounds of it, but
sounds
no dishes.
of it, dishes crashing.
Really?
And then there's times that the dogs would be freaking out on them. Edwin saw something up in his office, which is the nursery.
Yeah.
He was working. He works for Blue Cross.
That's on the second floor?
On the second floor in the front.
Yeah. All right.
And something all of a sudden, an apparition came right up out of the floor at him.
Wow. Now, just to give our since this is an audio podcast, this is a 3-story home?
Including the basement is 4, yeah.
4, okay. And how much square feet roughly?
I think it's 6,000.
Is it really?
I think it's like 6,661.
Wow.
I think actually now I'm almost positive of that. I'll have to ask Ken, but I'm almost positive that's what it is. 6661.
Wow, that's crazy. And when I went here for the podcast, for the documentary, I was here with a shaman. And you've had a bunch of people here. He was the first shaman, I think, that was here with you guys, right?
With us, yeah. But Ed and Lil had one in here one time, and he found the porthole at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah. There's so many. Okay, and so because when we were here, the higher up we got, the more activity, and then we went to the basement, and then there was even more activity down there. So it was kind of quiet on the first floor. But you're talking right here, right behind me. There's the kind of very cool main staircase and a banister, and there's a portal right there.
Right at the bottom, yeah.
Yeah, and you shared a picture. It was either you or Ken shared a picture with me of 3 entities, very vague, on the staircase. There's a little girl, Rachel, who died of the Spanish flu and when she was like 2 or 3.
That's Edward's daughter, yep.
And then there's the full body, and then there's the head by the banister of S.K. Pierce, and then there's an unknown butler on the staircase.
On the staircase, yep.
Yeah.
How can you... 3 in one picture.
Who took that, do you know?
Ken.
Ken did.
Ken, I think he said he was leaving, and he turned to say goodbye, and he took a couple pictures and walked out, and he was like, oh my God.
He didn't even notice when he took the... Yeah, okay. That's crazy. Yeah, it's an amazing picture.
Yeah, and Rachel's running around the staircase. You can see her plain as day running around the staircase.
Yeah, it's almost like when I showed in the documentary, because it's an older, kind of less quality picture, but you almost like focus on one, and then you see the other one, and then you see the butler, who's probably the most, you don't notice until it's there. It's very subtle,
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, okay, so let's jump to the story with Lillian. It's Lillian and Edwin, right?
Yep.
Okay. So it kind of how it culminated where they sold the house and it was available, and you'd see it in the paper, like haunted house for sale, and then it got bought. But there was one kind of big event at the end that where they said no mas and they had to leave, and you were very much a part of witnessing that.
I was here that day that she had something entered her. It was gosh almighty. I want to say it was like in October when it happened, like beginning of October. It was before Ghost Hunters came.
Okay.
And there was 2 people here visiting, and one of them came down the stairs, and then Bob came down, and he was like dazed. But he was like, and Lillian came running over, and she's like, "Do you have sugar? Do you need something? You need some juice or anything?" And as soon as she touched him, whatever was in Bob went into her.
Who's Bob?
Bob Pfeiffer.
Okay.
And Derek.
Is he friends with them? Or
he is friends with them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did they have ghost hunters come here while they lived here before they sold the house?
Yeah, they had tours and they did,
Okay, so it was
ghost
very
hunts.
active. All right, Okay, all right. Now, so there was one day where, it leaped into her, and she was, wasn't it like a couple days of she was...
She laid on the couch and for 3 days.
Yeah.
3 days she didn't eat, drink, go to the bathroom. And Edwin was up in his office. He didn't check on her for 3 days, Bob.
Wow.
And I was calling, and he's not answering, and
How
she's
come
not
he didn't
answering.
check on her?
He thinks that they were keeping him away from her.
Interesting, yeah, okay.
He feels that. And then I was banging on the door, and I was banging hard.
Yeah.
He didn't come down.
Yeah.
She came, something snapped her out of it, and she came to the door. And I said, Lillian, what the heck? I've got somebody coming tomorrow. We got the Girl Scouts coming.
Yeah.
And
okay, that's the Girl Scouts. So it wasn't that was the ending.
Because I had the Girl Scouts coming in. I needed somebody to help me bring in all the pellets. They all bought a bag of pellets.
Yeah.
To help heat the house. And she wasn't, it was her face, but it wasn't her.
Yeah.
And I knew there was something wrong, and she's trying to get up the stairs to tell Edwin. She's screaming for him, come help me. And that's when I just grabbed her. I put my arms around her, and out the door we went, and we ran over to the side over here.
Yeah.
And whatever it was, it just released her.
Wow.
And she was like, what are you doing here?
Oh, it's almost like...
I got the chills right now. I got the chills.
It's almost like Alzheimer's. When I had my mother's Alzheimer's, when they would go in and out of their different kind of personalities.
Exactly.
It's kind of like, oh my God.
Yeah, and then we're outside talking, and we look up to the nursery window, and there's Edwin. He's waving down to me. I'm like, really? Yeah. Really? I couldn't believe it. And then he went for a jog, and I had to go back to work, so she came in, and then he came back from his jog, and she said she's going to go to bed, the master bedroom. And that's when something laid on her, and she was screaming, get her off me, Edwin, help me.
Yeah.
And he ran in there, and He could not lift her. He said she was like 500 pounds, and she's not a heavy woman.
Yeah.
And he just took the bed sheets and the comforter and he pulled it, and she dropped to the floor, and whatever it was released her. Wow. And that was the next day they moved. They left.
Now, that entity, you guys haven't had an experience with something like that since you guys have been. When I say you guys, I'm going to say it's you. It's Ken and Mimi Watson. Yep. Ken is what's the
He's
title?
a curator.
Curator, okay.
Yep.
So he's a guy, he and Mimi kind of renovated the house or let it.
Yep.
But he's also kind of the historian that kind of knows the history as well as you.
No, I don't know as much as he does, but yeah.
And you guys uncovered a well too, right? Or did you
right out the door over here.
How did that, I mean...
There was a bunch of granite slabs out there that's been there for forever, as long as I've been coming here.
Yeah.
And even Edwin and Lillian didn't even know it was there.
Wow.
And he had been mowing and stuff, and he said, I'm going to move these out of the way. And he moved it, and oh my God, there was a well.
Wow.
I'm like, you got to be, but it's small. I don't know. Yeah. It's small.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple portals in this house, right? There's one downstairs. Is there one on the second floor or third floor?
Third floor.
Third floor? Which room?
In the billiards room.
Billiards room.
Creepy room.
And the billiards room is a classic room where this was it during S.K. Pierce's time when Minnesota Fats and people wouldn't...
Yeah, I think it was during, I know he had his pool table in there.
Yeah.
But I want to say it was during his time and then his son's time. And
okay, all right. Yeah, where...
And Ellen wasn't happy with it.
Yeah, some ill repute stuff happened up there in a closet, theoretically. And
so we've been told.
Yeah, and... you say that, but actually a lot of people pick up on it. Almost, maybe they have different interpretations of what they have when they go in that closet, but everybody feels. So the shaman, and when we did the documentary, he and Ken were on separate lav mics, and only Brad's would get static. The other guy wouldn't, and it would only be in certain rooms. And that room particularly, when he went into the closet where a lot of abuse happened, it was like
every
crazy.
Every psychic picked up on it.
Yeah.
Every psychic that ever came in here, they said something went on in that room.
Colleen Costello did too.
Yep,
she talked
Colleen.
About it.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. And then that other room what room is it?
Room 8 on the third floor. You're talking where Brad went in and
he was crying.
He was crying.
Yeah.
But a lot of that happened. Lewis went in there and was crying.
Really?
He came out. He goes, "Oh my God," and he was crying.
He said specifically in the documentary because Ken was. I could almost feel it was like Ken was almost uncomfortable because it's like when somebody's almost breaking down and you're kind of like uncomfortable and you're like, okay, step out of here.
Yeah.
It was because it had happened. Nothing like that was even close to happening, and then that happened up there. Brad's a big, burly guy. He looks like a biker. He's bald. But he's just kind of this big guy that you don't think would be afraid of anything. And he was like, he said the energy in there was not like the billiards room where it was more kind of fierce and violent and
sad.
That was
What's
just,
in that
just
room?
despair and sadness.
Yeah.
And then you guys mentioned afterward, he said crying in a corner, and then afterwards you and Ken mentioned when we did kind of an aftermath thing about how there was a servant that he felt that person had lost a child or something?
Yeah, Susan and Sarah were in there, and one of them had lost a child, and she was in the corner crying.
Yeah, that's exactly what he picked up on. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's funny because like I said, a lot of people pick up on that. It's crazy.
I mean, it's like, have you ever come across any new ghosts recently here from anybody that's
only when people bring things in, like that piano right behind me.
Yeah, there's a very cool looking piano behind you. It's like this.
Why was it free?
Yeah.
Why was it free? And when Ed and Lil went to pick it up, it was outside on the porch waiting for them.
Really? Yeah.
Why was it free?
Yeah. You think of mirrors, too. Have you guys ever gotten any mirrors?
They did some, what is that called when you look in a mirror?
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of what it is.
You sit in front of it and, whatever. I haven't done it, so I refuse to.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten anything.
Someone told, in one of my episodes, I think it was a guy said that he had... Someone that he had on one of his shows said you should not put a mirror in your bedroom across from your bed.
Right, I heard that. I don't have a mirror in my room.
You don't?
I do not.
I'm not going to have one anymore, actually.
There's one right behind you.
Oh, God. All right, cool. We're going to take a quick break for a second. I'm just going to check this, but it looks like it's going great, and then we're going to finish up. Okay?
Do you need a new mattress? I do. After my divorce, my ex-wife took the bed. If you've been shopping around like me, you know how expensive it is to buy a high-quality mattress that you'll also be happy with for years to come. But that's what makes Allswell different. You see, Allswell features hybrid mattress technology, giving you the comfort of memory foam with the support of individually wrapped coils, all at an unbeatable price. and you can even try it for 100 nights risk-free. If you're not satisfied with the sleep that you're getting on one of their heavenly mattresses, simply ship it back. Plus, every one of their mattresses comes with a 10-year limited warranty, so if you ever have any problems, you don't have to worry about getting stuck with a lemon. When it comes to affordable mattresses, don't sacrifice on quality or luxury. Allswell is the best purchasing decision that you can make. Now, if you'd like to get free shipping on your first mattress from Allswell, simply follow the link in the show notes to let them know that we sent you and to help support the show. When you listen to the podcast, there's a lot to be afraid of. But with Allswell, you never have to be afraid of a good night's sleep.
So this is probably one of the most visited houses, not only in New England, but probably in the country, I'm guessing, you know?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Was it on Destination Fear, like one of the top 10?
It was the top 10, yeah, they filmed here, yeah. We had Haunting of Hill House here, filming some stuff.
Yeah, and this kind of looks like the Munster House a little bit, if you think about the front.
That's funny.
Yeah, but it's got that cool look. And then across the street is a haunted hotel, right? Isn't
That, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about because there have been a ton of them, some of the more famous, more notable ghost hunters that have been here over the past few years.
Okay, we've had Ghost Hunters with Jason and Grant. We've had Ghost Adventures with Zach, Nick, and Aaron. We've had the paranormal shows. What is it? Paranormal Witness.
So Ghost Hunters was back when Nick was on Ghost Hunters.
Yes,
Ghost
that was
rather.
when.
Sorry, yeah. Now, then he started Paranormal Lockdown after.
Yes,
He came back separate. Okay.
Yeah, but then he came back and did the Vidi Space thing. He was here a couple years ago, which is funny. It was 2 years ago today he was here.
Yeah.
It came up on my memory. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about. So let's just start with like the first one, the Ghost Adventures. What did they pick up? Anything that they picked up in particular?
I was here for the filming for the 3 days, the pre-filming.
Yeah.
Letting them in, the producers and whatever, the actors. And
did you meet Jeff Belanger?
I have met Jeff Belanger here a few times, yeah.
He's the guy that does the research ahead of time,
He does the research,
right?
yeah.
He was in our documentary too, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I like him. He's a nice guy.
He's a great storyteller.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah.
But, so they came in, and then they had Edwin come in, and apparently they were up on the third floor, of course, and they were in front of the maid's room, where we just talked about. And they had the recorder going in the spirit box, and then they said, Zach says, "Who is the lady of the house?" And right over the spirit box came out as Lillian.
Really?
And Edwin was like, "What? What?"
Oh my God.
It's crazy. And I guess Edwin left or something, and then it was just Zach and Aaron up there, and they went into that room. Well, they didn't even make it in that room. I take that back. And the door was open, and a big ball of light came out at them, and they both jumped back, and it went around and went into the other room.
Wow. We had something like that happen. Remember when, it's probably smaller, but remember when Brad was in?
Yes, I saw
and
that.
You and Mimi saw.
Holy moly, I saw that, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, wow. So do the ghosts stay put? Because it seems like that room is that entity in that room. The billiards is a certain hour. They
travel around the house. I know he burned to death up in his room upstairs, but I know he's been downstairs in the basement where he supposedly hid all of his liquor and whatever.
Really?
Okay. I've walked out of one room and puff of smoke in my face because he was a smoker and he stunk and I'm sorry,
Wow. Do you guys ever leave offerings to any of the ghosts, or ever feel like you have to, like liquor or anything else?
Yeah, that's fine. I did buy a thing of Jack Daniels for him.
You did?
And a cigarette. Yep.
That's awesome.
It's upstairs for him. Yep.
Yeah.
We actually have his niece came to visit, and I became friends with her, Judy, and she gave us some of his. He did copper back in the day with a tin. You bang out pictures with it. We've got 2 of his upstairs that she gave us.
Wow.
And we put him in his room so he can,
That's amazing. I saw this house when it was under construction. Was it 3 years ago? Probably 3 years ago.
3 or 4. We're going on 4 now.
Yeah. So it's probably, and it's totally refinished, beautiful inside and out. And talking 6,000 square feet, that's just a ton of work. It's beautiful. I mean, it's not only just redone, it's just the taste in redecorating this thing is exquisite.
Oh, Robin, that house is beautiful.
Yeah, and some of the furniture that was original or not even original. I'm looking, like you said, at that haunted piano behind you. It's like does that do anything? How do you know?
It does not do anything like the blue one does. the blue one, plays notes or whatever.
Oh, really? Okay.
This one I've never heard anything, but Mimi picked up on a ghost of James came with that.
A ghost of what?
James.
James. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
a good ghost or a bad?
I'm assuming good. I've never had any problems with him.
And so, Ghost Adventures. Going back to the. So, who else has been here? You mentioned the first.
Ghost Hunters with Jason,
Hunters.
and Grant. They came twice apparently. So,
Okay.
yep.
Yep.
I don't think they found as much as Ghost Adventures did.
Yeah.
So I know they didn't. I just saw something over there.
Did you really?
It was right on the staircase.
Okay. I hope I see something. Oh, I'll see.
Okay.
Not that I'm any
I'm
protection.
gonna look this way now.
I'm the guy that will throw you aside to run out there.
I just saw something coming down the stairs, like
Did
a
you
white.
really? Oh my
I'm not
God.
kid you not. It was on the other side of the railings there,
right.
the posts.
So for people listening at home, we're in kind of like a dining room area with this big wooden kind of sturdy table, mahogany, and you look out and you see the part of the staircase going down to the bottom where the portal is, and Marion just thought she saw something coming down the stairs.
So.
Well, it's okay. All right. So good thing. All right, maybe they'll share something with us. So maybe when I'm doing this, maybe I'll hear some EVP.
I hope you do.
Awesome?
Wouldn't that be great?
But hopefully, maybe something impregnates itself on the onto the audio.
That'd
You had
be
mentioned
great.
before about the dishes. There was a guy that does EVPs that was in the documentary. He was at a house, and we have the sound effect where a gunshot goes off, like an old musket, where they're searching, and no one heard it at that point. But it's like really high decibels on the thing. But it wasn't until they played it back that they heard it.
Wow. Where was that at? Gettysburg or something?
It was in East Bridgewater. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
by the Bridgewater Triangle.
Yeah.
down-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, down by there. So crazy. Yeah. All right. So other people that have been, I kind of meander, but that's fine.
So many people, Bob. It's.
Who are your favorites? Talk about your personal favorites.
My
then.
personal favorites, I'd say Nick Groff was great.
Okay.
He was fun. He was very professional, very fun.
How many people did he bring with him? Did he have a big group or?
He didn't have a big group, like 3 of them.
Did they spend the night or just?
They did not. They had to leave here. He was late. It was snowing that night. They filmed here, did their thing, and then they had to go out to the Whitney Murdoch house in Winchendon.
Okay.
And film up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a full night.
It is a full night, yeah. Yeah.
All right, and when Colleen Costello was
Colleen,
here,
yep.
were you here that night when she was here? Or?
I was, every time I was here the first night she came.
Okay.
That was, a few years ago.
So she was dealing with, was it down in the basement? Was there an entity, like a male entity that was?
Could have been. I didn't follow her around, so I don't know.
Okay.
So, but I was here.
Do you or Ken and Mimi have to be here when?
When we have investigations or anything, yes, one of us has to be here at all times. You just don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
when they start letting people spend the night, then one of us will have to be here to spend the night.
Okay. Are there any of the newer shows that have been here recently that you see?
The Haunting of Hill House. They came and they filmed a year and a half ago here. The Travel Channel, the one with the 10 most haunted.
Yeah.
Yep, they were
Destination
here.
Fear or whatever
Yep.
it's called.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. That was a
Yeah.
fun time. Cold, but fun.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, how many other people?
Is it? Do you get like every week? Do you get, or is it as busy as it used to be?
Not right now because they know that we're not open yet.
Okay.
But people are calling. I just got a call again today.
What is the backlog of people that have already? Is it kind of like the Patriots, where people have already requested and reserved rooms?
Yeah.
For like
Oh my
months
goodness.
on?
You know what he has? Rob Conti, the owner.
Yeah.
He had I'm going to say about 6 months ago. His waiting list was like 5,000 people. Wow. Just to come and be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of people to come and spend the night.
That's a lot. And you guys don't know who's going to be the maitre d' or whatever of this place.
We don't know. We have no idea.
Okay.
I know he wants to keep us here, so I don't know.
Well, you guys know it so well. It's just a great, it's just, I can imagine someone.
Are you going to spend the night?
If you guys are here, yes. Not by myself. You kidding?
It's funny. I only spent the night twice in how long have I been here? 9 years?
Yeah.
So, and somebody had to be here with me.
Yeah, well, Ken and Mimi are so calm about it.
They've slept up in the red room all the time, and they've had something crawl in bed with them.
Yeah.
When Ken was by himself, something crawled in bed with him and spooned him, and he's like, "Ooh, this is new." Yeah. They've seen so much and felt so much, and it's crazy.
Yeah, there's some great interview footage with him where he's like, I've been here and nothing bad happens. I come in. But then he says, I've been on, and someone says hello, someone says goodbye, someone taps. I'm thinking, that's not bad. That's not.
As soon as I walked in, I say, hello, how are you?
Oh, you do? Okay.
Oh,
That's probably the way to do it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should do that going forward then. Hello. Hope I'm welcome here.
Fine.
What about the story about was there a key or something in the safe?
That was during table tipping.
Okay. You want to tell us that
That
story?
was before they actually sold the house.
Okay.
We were doing table tipping on the second floor by the safe. I don't know if you know what table tipping is. It's like a form of Ouija board, but using a 3-legged table.
Yep.
And everybody puts their hands on it, and me and Ken are the main people to show us what to do, whatever. I was so skeptical, and I'm looking under that table, waiting for somebody to lift it with their leg. I kid you not, that table started rocking.
Wow.
Rocking when you ask a question. It spells out. Like if you ask, what's your name? They'll spell out A, B. Stop on B, Bob. You can spell Bob. But anyway, so the table started rocking so much, and then it rocked its way over to the safe. It was slamming into the safe.
How far away was the safe from the table?
5 feet.
Okay.
5 feet. So it was like literally like walking. And I'm on the table like...
That's insane.
It's insane.
That's crazy.
It's insane. And then we had to stop and move the table away because it was going to break.
Yeah.
So then we just continue again, and it goes back over again. So we're like, okay, something's going on. So Ken's looking around, and Tina's looking around.
So we're talking 5 feet. That's not that's like sliding a few
inches. No,
inches.
that's from here to the fireplace. And that thing is walking. It's literally walking.
So what are you guys doing when you're around the table? Or do you just get up and it just keeps moving? And
No, we hang on to it. We stand up and just lightly touching it with our fingertips. And and then they started looking around the safe, and then that's when he saw in like the trim on the floor there.
Yeah.
There was something wedged in there. He pulled it out. It was a skeleton key.
Oh, really?
So we got back on the table. What's it go to? What's it go to? And it kept doing 9. 1, 2, 3, 9. We're like, does it go to room 9? We ran upstairs, and sure enough, that's the only door it worked. Every other door in this house, that key would not work.
What is
and
this
room
door?
9 is the billiards room.
Is what room?
The billiards room with the closet.
Oh, it is. I was gonna say, okay, that's wow.
That's
okay.
why.
Yeah,
Yep.
wow,
I mean,
right,
it's crazy.
Yeah. Now, there have been some things with children's toys that you've had experienced here. You want to tell us about some of those?
Oh, my God. I was standing over across from the billiards room, and a softball came from in the billiards room against the wall, rolled, went over the door jamb, the threshold, which is pretty high, over it, and came right towards me and hit me. Rolling. I'm like, oh, my God. And they got it on film. Yep. And then the doll, the creepy Mortimer doll upstairs, had an investigation. Joe Chin was here that night. From Ghost Adventures.
Where did that doll come from, the Mortimer doll?
It came with the house.
It did come with that? Okay, because it's kind of like a mascot now, right?
Mortimer, yeah. And we were talking.
I mean, Mimi, didn't she create a whole outfit for him or something?
She did. She made a new outfit. And now we have another one, too, Frederick, but he fell apart, so Mimi's fixing him.
Okay.
So, but the darn thing fell. We're listening to the EVPs, my friend Megan and I, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm going to say 6 inches from the doll. And we're listening, and all of a sudden the doll came right off the chair and hit me in the leg. I flew out of that room and I ran over to the safe. I'm like, what was that?
And are there other teddy bear dolls? I'm trying to remember.
Oh my God, when Rachel Hoffman was here, when she had her paranormal PXP group.
Yeah.
And she was here. Do you know Rachel?
It sounds familiar. Who is she?
Yeah, she's the long, blonde, beautiful girl. She had an all-girl, female paranormal group. And
do they have a TV show, or is she just
she was on the TV show with Zach. It was a paranormal. He would have different teams on.
Ghost Adventures then? She was on that?
Kind of like that, but it wasn't Ghost Adventures. It was like paranormal, I forget what it's called, but they had all these teams on there trying to win.
Oh, okay.
And Rachel's team won.
Okay.
But then that was the first night we met her, and her sister was pregnant at the time, Danielle, and they were upstairs where the nursery is, and there was a baby in the crib. Baby's still up there. And Danielle picked up the baby and was holding it because she's 5 months pregnant. And all of a sudden the doll says, Mama, that doll doesn't speak. She dropped the doll in the crib, and everybody was like, oh my God, but that doll does not talk.
Yeah, that's freaky. It's one thing if it's battery operated and it starts by itself, but if it just does, oh my God.
Yeah, that creeped him out a little bit. Yeah.
All right. So where do you go from here? You may stay here, but you have a whole new interest in the paranormal now, correct? I mean, I know you explore some places. Mm-hmm. How has your life changed since being exposed to this house and meeting your new friends? And
I know, right? I meet a lot of people.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
I noticed when I watch the Travel Channel, which they should call it the Paranormal Channel. I don't know why it's the Travel Channel anymore. I recognize people, including you, that have been. You must be constantly seeing people that you know.
Yep.
It's probably like a reunion, for God's sake.
Right,
seeing
right.
all the people that have been here and have their own shows.
Mm-hmm. And you meet them at the cons and stuff. You know. So
yeah. So, are there any other events you guys think you'll have here? You said paranormal. What was? Haunting of Hill House
was here. Yep. They weren't here. They weren't filming for Hill House. They were filming for a contest that they had.
Yep.
So they were here for that. That was fun. And
Can you explain that again? Because I know we did the first time when I interviewed you, but
they had a contest. If you watched Hill House, where they put it out there where 2 people were going to win, and each person gets to bring a guest, and their winning prize was to stay at a haunted location for 2 nights and 2 days. Didn't know where they were going. So they got dropped off out here in a limo, picked up at the airport, a couple from San Francisco one and a couple from Arizona. And yeah, they stayed here and we did table tipping with them. We gave them, of course, a tour, whatever. We fed them. It was crazy.
Yeah. People, I'll try to put a picture on the episode art, but if you're dropped outside this house at night, it is truly one of those scary type of looking homes. Now, there are 2 ways to get into the house. You usually have me come in the servants'
Yeah,
entryway.
I call it the servants' entrance.
Is that like a respect thing, or is that mostly just convenience?
I think it's convenience.
Okay.
We can come in that way, the main entrance, we can, but we just don't.
Yeah.
So
when I was here with Brad and we were filming, he was on that other side, and he felt laughter when he was at that side of the door before you.
Over here,
yeah,
oh boy,
yeah,
right, Mr. Pierce, I'm going to let you in that door, sure.
Yeah. So it's like
other door, buddy.
So yeah, great experience here. In closing, anything else that you want to, what would you like to say about the SK Pierce house? If people want to find out about it,
if they want to find out about it, they can get a hold of Rob Conti.
Okay,
him and his wife Allison are the owners now. Go on his website. He also has the Haunted Carnival down in New Jersey.
Do you know what his website is? I mean, if you don't, I'll let it out. Don't worry.
It's the SK Pierce.
SK Pierce house. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
look
just
for it
Google
on there.
SK Pierce house.
Yeah.
And you'll
find Rob Conti. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he'll talk to whomever, and then they'll get a hold of me.
Okay.
And then I'll do the bookings. I'll do whatever.
You don't do the bookings, but you clean the snow off the front steps.
Every time it's snow, my husband plows and I shovel.
If there was another place you would visit, you've been to the Conjuring House and you've been to the SK Pierce house.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
I know you go to San Diego a lot. Was there?
Oh my God, the Whaley House is awesome out there. I just was there the day before I came home.
So you did go there?
Oh, every time I go out there, my daughter lives about 10 minutes from there.
Okay.
So it's old town. It's a nice old town. They have restaurants, but it's like when you're walking down, you're going into these buildings that are like from the 1800s.
Yeah.
They still look like that. And the Whaley House still looks like the Whaley House. The whole town is haunted.
San Diego has a lot of really.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Wow. Where else besides there? Give me one more place that you would love to go. That
Alcatraz.
Alcatraz.
We're actually going there in July.
Oh, good for you.
So when I fly out there to see
I love that about you, that you actually go and do it,
I went to the Queen Mary.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Have you been on the USS Salem?
I have not.
Okay. All right. Would you go on it?
I would go on it.
Yeah,
I would.
I would.
I'd like to take all my protection that I need. I'd like to take Mimi with me, so Mimi will.
Yep. So what? Give our listeners advice when they go in a haunted house. What should they do when they enter and when they leave? Any thoughts? Or?
Like Mimi says, before you go in, you need to ground yourself.
Okay.
Which means touch the land, whatever.
Ground yourself. You say me touch
the land, I wouldn't right now, but in the summertime, I take my shoes off and I put my feet in the dirt and stuff, and that's called grounding. Okay. You want to make sure you sage yourself. Cleanse yourself with keeps the spirits at bay.
Should you introduce yourself?
Introduce yourself when you come in, like we do all the time.
Okay. We did that actually when we did the documentary. Yep. We walked in. I think Ken suggested it.
Have respect. I think if you have respect for them, they'll probably respect you.
Respect goes a long way, doesn't it?
It goes a long way.
Even in the afterlife.
Yeah. When somebody got thrown down the stairs up there, they weren't respecting them.
Yeah.
Respect them, and you wouldn't get thrown down.
One for them. Yeah. What about your neighbors? Do your neighbors ever come and question things?
These people over here, behind the house here, it used to be a men's halfway house.
Yeah.
Then they gutted it, and about a year ago, it's now women.
Yeah.
And of course, we weren't here because it was wintertime, whatever. And then we met them in the spring. They're like, do you know there's a little boy in there? We're like, there's no little boy in there. We see him all the time. He's in the windows. Like,
really?
They've seen him. They've sit out there and they watch the house and they've seen him.
So what boy do you think that is? Because there's a couple boy spirits, isn't there?
Gordon.
And give me the story about Gordon. What's the backstory about Gordon?
We don't even know how he came here. We're assuming that somebody said that he drowned outside somewhere and he was brought in by Rachel, which is Edward's daughter.
Okay.
In the pond down the street here.
Okay.
It's like right behind this greenhouse a little ways.
All right.
And then somebody also heard downstairs in the cistern, as we told you, come play with me in the water. It was a little boy.
Yeah. Brad picked up on that. He said, drowning cistern. And I remember Ken was like, his eyes were going, we're doing it. Which was kind of great in the documentary, seeing Ken's reactions as well as Brad's. Because when he was picking up on something, you could see it in Ken's expression.
Because we've experienced it all. And Brad's picking up on this. And any other psychic or whomever that comes in here picks up on things. And we're like, really?
I mean, Brad had no background. And now people are getting kind of familiar with some of this stuff. But That and the Lizzie Borden house, too. He didn't have much experience there, believe it or not. He walked in, and he was really skeptic about the Lizzie Borden house, and he was shocked when he went in, because he thought, oh, big, just tourist trap, and he was shocked by how much stuff he picked up there, too.
Oh, he did? Good,
Oh,
good.
yeah.
I haven't been there yet.
Oh, really?
No, I have not. The Rose Island Lighthouse is a good one to go to.
Is it really? Okay.
Mm-hmm. In Rhode Island.
That's what it's called, the Rhode Island?
The Rose Island Lighthouse.
Island.
If you're going over the big bridge to Newport, it's a lighthouse right below the bridge.
Okay.
And it used to be like where the troops would go.
All right.
They have the barracks there and stuff, which are very haunted.
All right. So next time you go to the Conjuring, invite me, please.
I will call you.
I would love that.
I'm going to get a hold of them and set a date up. We want to go like in March. When the weather's a little better. And, you know. Great.
Right, well, thank you so much, Marion. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
This is awesome. This is my second. I hate to admit this, but it's my second time here. I screwed up the first one. I didn't have batteries in the loud mic, so you were gracious enough to come back. And I think this one came out even better. So I
think so too. Yeah, it came out good.
All right. Well, cool. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You've been listening to the Afraid of Nothing podcast. Please subscribe and like us on Facebook. Until next time, stay scared.
Hey, you're still here? Great. Then why not listen to another episode? Visit afraidofnothingpodcast.com to peruse all the shows. That's afraidofnothingpodcast.com. And while you're there, click the coffee cup icon to buy me a coffee and leave a review. I'll give you a shout out in an upcoming episode, and the world will know how swell you are.